Okay, it's getting ready to go on. So and we're live. So I am so excited today to be on live. I'm going to give a couple minutes for some of our friends on Facebook Live to come on. So exciting. And we're going to get this party started really soon. So exciting. Okay, and let's get the show started. So I want to welcome everybody to MinkLife Motivation Live. This is where you can get motivated, stay inspired, keep networking, and share knowledge for a life that's designed by you for you. So everyone can live healthier, wealthier, and more fulfilled. I'm your host, Monica Henderson, and I am so excited to share with you this week on MinkLife Motivation Live 3 amazing women. We have Levy, who is the owner and developer at Net Graphics. We have Irina, Strunina, and she is she's the owner at Smart Move 360, and then we also have Andrea Gerwitz. Our theme for this month is brought to you by the Power of 6 and MinkLife Motivation, and it's the 6 basic rights. The first right is you have the right to own your own life. And so this week's theme is stop setting goals, start activating a vision. So in our first segment, we're going to help you get motivated. And the motivation is when you have a motivation, it leads to action. When you have an action, it leads to creation. And when you have a creation, it leads to manifestation. And manifestation leads to reality. And so we want to make sure that this week you get a dose of motivation so that you can make your dream a reality. So this week's quote is brought to you by an unknown person. And that is, don't focus on results, focus on the activity. And so when we're thinking about this idea of not setting goals, but more creating a vision to live in, we want to think about kind of the activities that will lead us to the life that we're really trying to bring forward in our lives. And so I wanted to ask you, our viewers, to share what your motivation is. And so what I would like to know is, what activities are you doing this week to keep you motivated to see your vision become a reality? And so if you are live, or if this is streaming later and you're watching it later, I would love to know, what is it that you're doing this week to make your dreams become a reality? Our next section is all about staying inspired. And when you stay encouraged and you stay moving forward, that really comes from your inspiration. And so because inspiration is everywhere, at least it should be anyway, we want to surround ourselves with books, music, people, and good vibes to keep, and it's very crucial for our staying motivated and staying inspired. And so today I am so excited and ecstatic to share with you a wonderful person who I have come to get to know a little bit. And she's going to share with us her entrepreneurial journey from her own words. And I'm going to really, I think it's a treat for you to hear from this lovely lady. She is Levy, and she is the owner and developer at Net Graphics. And her entrepreneurial journey, she's going to share with you today, is about how she was building her business while fighting the big C. And so I would love to welcome Lee to share with us her story.
Hello.
Hello. So Lee, if you could just share with us your story. You have the floor. I'm so excited for you to share.
Well, welcome everybody. I had a really horrendous journey with cancer last year. I was diagnosed on January 20th of last year. After every year mammograms are clean, one year it was not. It was probably like getting a slap in the face when the doctor tells you that. And definitely something that's really hard to swallow. And then, you know, all of a sudden, everything and anything becomes completely unimportant because now you have to deal with this thing in life that, how am I going to manage this? What am I going to do? What am I going to feel? Am I going to be out of commission? You know, what am I going to do with my business? I'm a one person solo entrepreneur, and you know, it's a concern. And it was really tough. As soon as the doctor told me that I had to go through chemo, radiation, and a surgery, I was just like, there's no way. You know, I really felt like my business was going to fall apart. And it was just, again, it was really, really, really tough. I really was depressed for the first 2 months. It was just, you know, trying to wrap my head around this and trying to think about where life was going to take me or what stage I was. I still didn't know at the time until they finally told me it was a stage 2. And I just had to go through all the motions, find all the doctors, do everything. You know, I found out what I was in for, how I was going to feel. They told me I was going to be pretty sick for a while. Depression just took over for about 2 months. And then, you know, I started chemo, and I have to tell you that if you've been through chemo, it's a horrific thing. I don't wish it on my worst enemy. I was very, very sick. It just weakens you to the point of you just feel like so low and so like you can't do anything. You just feel like a wet rag, and that's how I remember feeling. And sitting in a chemo room with a bunch of depressed people around you, because everybody's in a different stage. Some people are fighting for their life with stage 4. And it was just very, very heart-wrenching for me to be in a room. And especially when I'm usually a very motivated person, to be in a depression and be even worse depressed, to be in that type of environment. So I remember saying to myself, there's just no way that I'm going to let this get the best of me. I'm going to pick myself up and I'm going to move forward. And I decided that I was going to start bringing my laptop and just working through the chemo. And I will never forget, people in the room looked at me the next time I came and they were like, what is she doing here with a laptop? Like, everybody's just looking at the floor. Everybody's depressed. Everybody's upset. And I just said, I'm not looking around. I don't want to see these people. You know, I need to pick myself up. I need to get back to where I was. I need to manage my business as best as I can, at least on my good days when I was feeling well. And that's it. I took my laptop, I worked, I answered emails. I told my customers, you know, about my situation. I said, you know, please bear with me. I will be working on my good days. I just kind of let everybody know my story, because this is not something where you're sick for a few days and you're coming back. You know, this, I knew that I would be down and out. And it was just such an amazing feeling, because I think almost every one of my clients just waited for me. They literally just waited for me. They said, we'll be patient. We've been doing business with you for years, and we will continue to do business with you through all of it. And I just remember crying because it just felt so good.
That's such an amazing story. What I love about your story is you kind of had, you knew you wanted to survive, right? And so you kind of took this journey with cancer and turned it into this moment where you're like, you know what, life's going to keep going on after this, so I might as well just keep pushing forward. And so really kind of creating that a vision of you being healthy after this seems like it kind of helped propel you through the journey of going through your chemo and kind of battling through. So I like applaud you for really kind of having so much vision about healing and being well. If there was one thing that you wanted to share with everyone who's listening to this journey, maybe some other entrepreneurs who are kind of going through a rough time, maybe it's not cancer, maybe it's something else, what would you want to share with them?
Just don't let anything get you down. I really believe that if you have a positive mindset, you can get through anything. And, nothing else matters. All of a sudden when you get news like this, all the little things going on around you, all the stupid little fights you had, everything that you complained about, this client or that, nothing matters all of a sudden except your health, because without your health, you can't have a business. So just don't let anything get in your way. Fight it, have a positive mindset. And I really believe that it helped me get through this journey.
I believe it too. I want to thank you for one, being super open and transparent about what you're going through. If people have questions about your journey, are you open to them reaching out to you personally? Yeah. So I just wanted to share with everyone who is watching that Lee is a dynamic graphic designer and a web builder. But not only that, she has a Facebook group that she actually does live trainings on a regular basis. And so very shortly here, I'll be dropping into the comments a link for her Facebook group. But if you are looking to maybe kind of start a website, like maybe you haven't started your website yet and you kind of want to get going on starting your website, it's a great place to start. But also if you've already have a website, but you kind of need some help, somebody else to kind of lean in on that project, I highly recommend Lee. She has great insights, great visual kind of aesthetics, and really knows how to get you to that next level. So thank you so much, Lee, for hanging out with me today on my very first MinkLife Motivation Live. You were the perfect person to kick this off with, and I could not be more appreciative of you. So I thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. So with Lee sharing her story, that is a segment that we're going to be doing every single week, where we're going to bring you a new inspirational story, a new entrepreneur who might be going through something or went through something, and they may want to have share tips or tricks on how to get to the next level. So if you enjoyed Lee's story, by all means, reach out to her for her Facebook group. And also, if you want to be one of our inspirational stories, we would love to talk to you as well. So next, the next segment for our show is Keep Networking. And what I about networking is, one, we all are kind of going through different things with this COVID-19, but what you don't realize is that you have a wealth of people who are surrounding you and who want to support you. And so this segment of our show weekly is all about your net worth, your network being your net worth. And really nothing we can do can be done alone. You can do anything by yourself, but you can do everything together. So today I have brought in two awesome, amazing, trailblazing women to help you kind of identify maybe how you can be healthier and wealthier in your life and in your business. And so I want to bring forward Irina and Andrea, so that we could have a lovely conversation about health being wealth, and how being connected to these amazing women could also bring you some extra wealth. So thank you for coming on, Andrea, and for Irina. I'm gonna stop share so that we can see each other nice and clear. Hey ladies, how you doing?
Pretty good. It's good to be here.
Hello,
Thanks for
good to
having
be
us.
here. Yes, exactly. Thank you.
So one of the reasons why I really wanted to have this segment in the show was because I have great conversations with both of you and a lot of the other entrepreneurs who are a part of the MinkLife Motivator community. And I always feel like if people could be a fly on the wall in some of the conversations that we have, they would probably, I mean, we have so many ahas when we talk to each other, right? But to be able to share these conversations with other people on a weekly basis and maybe kind of get the inspiration that we get from each other, if we can kind of have a ripple effect on the rest of the world. And so today, I really wanted to kind of have us answer that question about ourselves, but then also kind of sharing some tips to others and what they might be able to do to be able to kind of take the actions that they need, right, to literally live a healthier life. So what do you do in your own journey of being a entrepreneur to stay healthy and to take care of yourself? Because really your business thriving does start with all of us, just like Lee said. So Irina, you want to start the conversation off?
Sure. Well, what do I do?
Yeah, what do you do?
Well, I am preaching on every corner that it's very important. The most important thing is to be able to take care of yourself. Put the
Mm-hmm.
oxygen mask on yourself first and then help everybody else. So
Yep.
I do very simple things. I'm saying that we got to keep moving. I have a company called Smart Move 360, Start Moving. And to kind of support that message, on March 26th, I started doing my every morning walks and doing a little weather report, happy day messages to people. And I keep doing it. So I had one today as well. We got to stay hydrated. So I am making sure that I drink my water. We got to take our vitamins. You know, before COVID, I was not that good at taking vitamins. Now I am taking vitamins every day and trying to have more veggies and fruits in my daily menu. So basically these are it. It's not very complicated. It's some stretches, some movement, some good fuel, and you have good chances to stay healthy and kind of active.
Yeah, Andrea, what about you? What are you doing these days to stay healthy?
To stay healthy. Well, one, it's a great question. And I, because of the work I do as a Thrive strategist, it is first and foremost, I always ask, like, what are you doing to support yourself? And so all of my classes are built, for instance, on that self-support. And we really dig deep in the very beginning about claiming your space. And so as a mom, as a busy entrepreneur, and all those hats I wear as a woman, it became very clear very quickly that if I wanted to be successful in all of these areas, I better put that hat on and, like, drink my own Kool-Aid, so to speak. So I made my classes because of my own Kool-Aid solutions to many, many things. And so for instance, my detox class was years of me going through working on health issues, because why do people become interested in health typically unless they have a crisis or they know someone with a crisis? So my family's filled with food allergies. So I'm very much into that whole thing about minding your food, right? And so I've always minded my food, but when I had my own health issue, I had to mind better. And I had to also, one thing I'm going to add to Irina's list is I had to learn to sleep. As a busy entrepreneur, I had to sleep train myself as if I were a baby. Like, honestly, learning to put myself to sleep has been one of my greater journeys as an adult. So in addition to, moving, and now that we're all sitting still, I set an alarm to go take a walk. I do. I mean, like, now it's really, you have to get up. Like, I'm not getting in a car, running to a networking meeting, moving a little bit that way. So now it's like, really, truly get up and move. Of course, start your day. And those of you who've done my cleanser on here know, like, I start the day with lots of liquids to hydrate after a night of not eating. And like Irina said, you know, those fruits and vegetables, they are your friends, and really getting that balance right for you is a big part of my education that I do. So I do that just regularly. So I think when people are like, what made you come up with the cleanse? I'm like, these are all the things I think people know. And then I realized they didn't. So it was great to put into a class and share with them, and then get the feedback that it was such a big deal was eye-opening to me. And I was like, really? Okay, well, let's keep going. This is kind of fun for me because I could talk about it all day long. But then the next thing is sleep. As busy people, the one thing that I really have to guard, and that is the essence of my self-care, is managing my sleep. And I will say to any woman who's listening over the age of 35, that if you would like to live to 85 and your sleep is not on point, it's time to get it on point. So that's the one thing I want to add on top of what Irina said. But everyone know this, Monica's a good sleeper, so she doesn't know what this is like. But those of us,
I am
a champion sleeper. She has sleep habits and hygiene that make me just wish I were her. And so she's like, yeah, sleep. I'm like, no, you really feel it if you've been, I used to be in broadcasting, so I had a broken sleep clock, totally broken sleep clock, can stay up for days. That's not healthy humans. For human people, we need to sleep. And so sleep. Everything Irina said. That's my self-care too. So, and it's free.
I was going to chime in. I was to chime in and say, like, the sleep thing is not my problem. I actually get 8 hours, at least 7 hours of sleep every night. And everyone makes fun of me because I go to bed really early. So I go to bed between 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. The latest I ever go to bed really is 9 o'clock. And everyone's like, that's crazy. But I'm up and like firing all cylinders at 4 a.m. So Irina actually yesterday and we were chatting, and she was like, what time do you go to bed? And I was like, well, I go to bed at 7 or 8. And she's like, how do you do that? But what was interesting is what I told her is because we've been in this quarantine, right? The sleep pattern is weird, even for me, who's a good sleeper. Like I am a good trained sleeper. And even for me, the sleep pattern had been weird. And so what I did was, before I get ready to lay down, I set an alarm for, I talk to my phone, I say, set an alarm for 7 hours from now. And then I know for sure, whatever time that is, then I can, that's enough sleep for me to do. And so, sure enough, last night I set the alarm. I don't even know what time it was. I wasn't even looking at what time it was. And I was like, set an alarm for 7 hours from now. And it was like, okay, your alarm is set for 4:02. And I was like, okay, I'm up at 4:02 then. So I wholeheartedly believe that if you don't have a great sleep pattern, it really kind of throws things off. And there's these two things. Never have a difficult conversation when you're tired or sleepy, right? Those are like hardcore recipes for an argument to happen, just in relationship in general. No one ever argues when they're on a full stomach, right? And so I think they're right? Like that sleep and really kind of making sure that you're getting the right nutrients. I went through Andrea's cleanse, and I learned some things about some vegetables. I am now a new fan of celery juice. It's a daily thing for me. But I'm not a vitamin taker, right? I can't, I just, that concept of like, why am I putting this stuff in my body? I'm not that person. And so if I'm not going to take vitamins, then that means I have to consume it, right? And so that was one of the things that I learned from her. And Irina, one of the things that, she says, and I quote, "There is no wealth without health." And she is 100% right in that. In our program at MinkLife Motivation, we always talk about healthy, wealthy, and fulfilled. And my original, those are the first 3 words that I grasped this concept of this business on, because I realized that that very thing, right? If I'm unhealthy, right, it doesn't matter how much wealth I have, I can't do anything with it, right? And so I 100% agree about that. And so as we kind of are, sitting here chatting about this healthy journey, right? How has your health strategies helped you be a better entrepreneur? Just out of curiosity. What do you like? What has made you like? What is the little kind of one-up thing that you have on other people because you know the hacks and the tricks on how to be healthier? How has that helped you over in this entrepreneurial journey? Out of curiosity.
Do you want to go
I
first?
stumped them, guys, because I did not ask them this question ahead of time.
Well, I'm gonna. Yeah, she's such a tricky Ricky. We love you, Monica. So I'm gonna say that because I so much insist, like with my kids with their food allergy, and really claiming the agency of you make your health. Outside forces don't make your health. And I think because I'm so wed to that concept of claiming your own agency, like you were talking about activating our vision, and we're talking about of being a part of our own health. We just claiming, making that clear decision, like Lee said earlier, she said she decided to keep working with her business despite, you know, going through chemo and things like that. She claimed life. And so I think that people who claim health, like us working with people and wanting people to claim health, our hack is that we believe in their purpose of being here is being in a healthy body. So we help model that belief. And I think by modeling that belief, that gives people who maybe have gone down some pitfalls and things like that, they can go, okay, if she did it, I can do it. Like Lee's story is inspiring to me because I just helped a friend go through the whole chemo process. And believe it or not, everybody, Lee was really worried about that picture. And I've been in those chemo centers and Lee looks great. And in part, Lee looks great, in my opinion, and the way I see things is because her spirit and her soul made a decision. They made a decision. All parts of her decided to live. And in that decision to live, she had vibrancy despite going through this process of killing all cells so that the cancer will go away and hopefully the new ones will come back all together and happy again. So it's really that choice. It's like when you learn how to choose you can choose just about anything else that you want to do. So it really does start with that examination of self and saying, I choose me. I'm worth it. I have something left to offer the world despite my circumstances, and I'm going to follow that path so I can share it. So that girl Lee, talking my language, claiming your space.
Yeah, Lee come on camera too. Yeah.
I'm your biggest hero. I'm like your biggest
you know? Thank you. I wasn't sure when to jump in, so I was just kind of sitting on mute.
No, it's okay. For sure. That's part, and that was it. And for my friend who was going through this, that's all I did was like, choose you. I'm here for you. We're going to do this together. You, like, and I'm so happy because it was hard for her to make that choice for herself. And I think sometimes when people get super sick, it's really hard to say, I'm doing this for me. I have to say my mother was chronically ill, and I get kind of choked up if I choke up a little bit, but my mother had lupus. And I remember as a really busy, I'm going to do everything kind of gal, she's like, girl, I wish you would get some sleep, because if you don't take care of your health, who will? I know, Mom, I know. And I hear those words now, and I'm glad they went in, even though I didn't necessarily pay much attention at the beginning. But my mom really chose health for a really, really long time until she didn't. And then she was gone. So I've seen it too many times that when you don't choose you transition, right? You transition to the next place that you're desiring to be. So.
And I absolutely remember people telling me that I was crazy for trying to focus on work when I was sick. And I said, you don't understand. If I don't focus on my work, I won't make myself better. This is what I live for. I need to get back to my everyday and not think about being sick.
Right.
Yeah. That's that mindset thing, right? So one of the things that all the time people say, I get asked quite a bit. So what is it that is different from, people who kind of survive despite, and people who don't. And I think it's that grit of like, I am determined to actually like beat this, right? I'm determined to not focus on all the other things that are often distractions on the side, but I'm determined to focus on this vision. And it seems like you had like a really clear vision of, I am going to beat this and I am going to get healthy. And having friends like Andrea, you know, to be able to kind of like push that, like, choose to be healthy, pushing that vision even on people who can't necessarily have that vision for themselves sometimes, is really powerful, which is why it's so important for us to have a community to surround us in anything that we're doing, right? So Irina, what about you? What would you say is your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm totally, you know, this is nice to be on this show with Andrea, because she is saying basically what I would say. So I really can just nudge and say yes. What I also, as I said, I'm all about movement, and this is something that helps me. I'm kind of about lead by example, and this is the reason why I'm doing those morning walks. Kind of like, you know, I don't have a dog to walk. So I have to walk myself, and because I'm not such a great sleeper as you are, not that disciplined as you are, it's sometimes pretty tough to get early enough in the morning and to have that walk and to be on time for this my little weather forecast from Irina Strunina. but this is something that I did find, that because I took on myself this, I did a couple of things during this 5 months.
Oh gosh, it's been 5 months.
So,
holy cow.
Yes, there was a thing that the friends of mine, they in April, it's since, I don't remember, in the last 12 years, I think, there's this movement 22 by 22, and it's to bring awareness to veteran suicide rate. And no, it's not last 8 years. It started, I think it's 2012. And it's a challenge. 22 days in a row, you do 22 push-ups, and then you nominate somebody else to do this with you. So I jumped on it. Luckily, in the very first few days, ladies who I know, who friends of mine, they invited me to be a part of it. So I was doing it, and every day we will have a time where everybody goes on Zoom, and we will do in front of the camera those push-ups. Interesting thing, at the end of those 22 days, I noticed that it's not that tough for me anymore, those 22 push-ups, but it wasn't a surprise. What was a surprise, actually, that my torso become more tuned. Just 22 days, not half a month, half a year, not 3 months. I didn't go to gym, just 22 push-ups every day. My hands, arms got better, better looking, I mean, and those little details. And I also noticed that since I'm not rushing most of the mornings somewhere, I have a little bit of more time. In addition to my 20 minutes walk, I also do some stretches. I also do some plank. I have 5.5 minutes plank routine. Yes.
Ooh.
But that
wait, stop, time out. 5.5, you do a plank for 5.5 minutes in time?
Yes.
Wow.
Do you
do it on camera?
But that is the achievement of 2.5 years. It's not 5 months.
Okay.
I gradually came to it, and now I decided that it's enough for me. I don't have more time to stay in plank. But this is what I would say, that lead by example, do something. The reason I choose plank, 2 reasons. One, I've heard that Cher, when she was turning 70, she was interviewed, and she said that she is doing plank every day for 5 minutes. And I thought, I'm not 70. I will do that too. So I started working on it. So that was my one thing. And the other thing was that,
My tip for the day.
yeah,
Right. I was like, I was starting
Okay,
to
I got
reflect,
life goals. I have a new life goal. Irina, you just started something.
add, like, share is like the new goal. It's like,
so the other thing is that the plank is such a universal exercise. It involves almost every muscle in your body. And if you do it first thing in the morning, this is just 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, and you've done your exercises for the day. This is
oh,
Monica
me-
likes this already.
for me, this was, so I do my plank, I do my walk, I'm done. 30 minutes altogether with all this dressing up and dressing and stuff like that. But I feel now I see, because I'm doing it every day, I walk more. I have my Fitbit, so I have my steps counted, so there's no problems there. And I have that. And I also know that I make more steps now than it was 3 months ago in the same period of time. And again, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I look better. So now I can say, look, guys, I'm not saying some bluff that I don't do. I did it, and I know that that is happening, even though I wasn't too bad before that. But I got better. So everybody has a way to improve, and I'm here to show it.
Nice.
well, I could literally talk to y'all. First of all, I'm getting abs like Cher now, because I'm not
Yeah, I
gonna
know. I just wrote it down like 5.
outdo me. So yes, I'm getting abs like Cher. But I have to move on to the next segment. But I am so happy that Lee jumped on. This is, and kind of contributed to the conversation. This was so fun. So much fun.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful for all of you and sharing and letting me put you on the spot and getting those new tips. That's amazing. So thank you very much, ladies. I am so excited to have you a part of my network and a part of my, the group that I can call my posse, my friends, my homies, my community. And I hope everybody else is having as good of a time as we are. And if not, it's okay. We had a good time, and they'll just have to do something else. I don't know. But I appreciate you. So thank you.
You're welcome. It was fun.
Thank
Thank you. Irina, you've really motivated me, by the way. 5-minute plank. Great. That's now my new thing. And Lee, it's great to see you guys again. So
You too.
thanks, Monica. This was
Great.
fun. Let's do
Yes,
this.
thank you,
Thank
Monica.
you.
Thank you, ladies. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next segment of our show today is going to be shared knowledge, and smarter, wiser, stronger is my motto. One of the things that is really important is to understand that knowledge is power, right? And the more we know, the better we are. And so I wanted to create a segment that was literally a topic talk. And so yes, I'm going to be talking to you about the topic this time, but as we evolve the show, there will be a different host and maybe even some guest topic talk people. So for this week, you're going to hear from a little old me, but in the future, who knows who the special topic person will be. So I wanted to talk about stop setting goals and start activating your vision. Now, I know you guys have all been seeing me hashtag all over Facebook, hashtag activate the vision within. Yes, it is a book that I wrote, but it came from my own personal transformation. And so what I wanted to talk about a little bit today is, what is a goal? And a goal is something you hope to achieve, right? But hope is doing something with the intent to do something if it's possible. And so I want to actually get rid of the word goal. I think the word goal itself is actually setting us up for failure. Think about it. All the goals you set for New Year's, I'm going to do planks like Cher as a goal, right? Versus actually living in the activities that get you what you want. And so I wanted to share a little bit about me and about what I kind of went through. And one of the things that I realized about myself is that for the longest time, I was really kind of just pushed by pain. And, goal setter, just like everybody else, I'm goal oriented, but I wouldn't actually set those goals unless there was something wrong. Like I believe Andrea was saying in the talk in our little chat, where she's like, yeah, like people get into nutrition because there's something wrong, right? And they were forced into that space. And so what I want to try to entice everyone today who's listening is to stop having pain be the catalyst for your actual activity. Instead, I'm now pulled by a vision. And so my activities, like going to sleep at 7 p.m. early, is really driven by the vision that I have for myself in how I'm going to achieve being able to retire at the age of 42. Yes, I said 42. And that means I have to start doing things now in order for me to be able to retire then. And so I now am completely pulled by a vision. And I want to kind of talk to you about how that happened for me. So I had to calibrate my life because I was really bad at doing it. Not many people are going to tell you that I'm bad at doing life, but I thought I was good at doing life, but I was really bad at doing life. And it took a series of unfortunate events to kind of drive me to the realization that I have not been doing life right? There are some real things that I needed to do. And I had to take an honest assessment of where I was. I was homeless. I had a 2-year-old. All of my business prospects dried up because I had no savings, no car, no place to live. And I really just needed to kind of do some things different. And the first step for me was absolutely just kind of taking an honest assessment of where I really was. I realized that I was at my rock bottom. And from being honest about how well I did life before and what got me to that space really helped all of the steps that I had to do after that. The next thing that I did is I created a vision for what I really wanted. And I want to encourage everyone to do this. As you are listening to me right now and you're thinking about maybe like where you are in your life and you're looking around like this was not where I wanted to be, you have to actually take some time to really create that vision of what it is you want on the other side, right? So Lee had a vision of what she wanted on the other side of her cancer treatment. Irina had a vision of what she wanted after she lost her husband to diabetes and heart disease, right? She had a vision of, I don't want anybody to feel this anymore, so I have a vision. Andrea, same thing, had a family full of food allergies and really didn't want to spend her whole life being scared of or avoiding food, right? So each of them had a vision of what it is that they really wanted to live their lives in. And those visions was really kind of what generated them to building their own businesses. So if you look at that, all of us, right, we all kind of went through something to get through this, and you might be in that space right now where your life does not look the way you want it to. Maybe the coronavirus has put you out on the streets and you have to figure out a new way to do business, or you don't have a job anymore. There may be all kinds of external catalysts to put you in this space. I want you to think about now creating a new vision, and then I want you to reverse engineer where you're trying to go. So for me, I knew at 28 that I wanted to retire at 42. And that means I needed to build a business, and I needed to become the businesswoman that I eventually became. But I had to do that by actually taking the actions and the steps to do so. So I told everyone around me what I wanted to do. And a lot of them thought I was crazy. They're like, there's no way you're going to retire at 42. Hell, just a couple of minutes ago, I told them I was retiring at 42, and they're like, yeah, that people don't usually do that. That's not a thing. But I want you to know that it is a thing. It is possible. And what you want to do is very possible if you stop setting goals and you start making the activities to actually actualize your vision. The last thing I want you to know is I only made choices that supported my new vision. So when I was sleeping on the couch in my friend's house in Pomona, and I had this vision of living in downtown Los Angeles and being married and having my kid go to a very nice school or private school or some kind of great education, and having a multifaceted business where I'm working with entrepreneurs all over the world. As an international businesswoman, I had to actually make the choices on a daily basis to do that. And it's possible for each of you who are sitting here listening to this right now to begin to make those choices. Everything that got you to where you are now was by a series of choices. And now it's time for you to decide to make a different choice. And this is the best time to do it, now more than ever, right? Because we have more time on our hands, and the world essentially is sitting still waiting for you to be successful. So what I will say is make those choices that support your new vision. The activities that you are doing on a daily basis are going to equal to who you're going to be over the next 6 years. So 6 years from now, if you start eating right, if I start doing those planks like Irina was saying, then I will then be able to have abs like Cher by the time I'm 70, hopefully. So I say all that to say that when I answered my call to my greatness, right, when I actually decided to start being pulled by a vision instead of being pushed by pain, I was able to find my purpose in life, and I was able to create the program, this show, my book, all of the things that I have going on in my life, because I took the time to stop setting goals and start making activities to get results that I wanted in my life. I now live in Los Angeles, in downtown LA, with a lovely husband, and my daughter goes to one of the most amazing schools in Los Angeles. And every single day I get to work with dynamic business owners, just like Lee, just like Irina, just like Andrea, to support them in supporting their dream, which makes me so fulfilled, right? And I get to choose every day to live healthy, wealthy, and fulfilled. So when we are looking at what it is that you really need to do, you need to stop setting goals based on your pain and your pain points. And instead, you really need to take the time to do the activities that are based on a vision. And if you can do that, you are going to find great success in your life long term. Like Irina said, it took her some time to build up to those 5-minute planks. It took Andrea some time to figure out what it was that she needed to do in order to keep her family happy. It took Lee some time, the activities, to keep building her business while she was going through her chemotherapy. And it took me some time to build the life that I live now. But once we stopped making those decisions based on the pain point and we started actually doing the activities based on our vision, we were able to see it come true. So that is my little sharing of knowledge with you. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We would love to hear from you. Ladies who are on the call with me, did you guys have any questions for me that you wanted to ask, or curiosities about me or what it is that we're doing here?
We're good, I think.
I just wanted to say that I commend you because you're just one of the most amazing people I've ever met.
Oh, well, I wasn't asking for those, but I'll take them. Please stop. Stop. I'll take it. Yeah. So this week, we may not have that many people dropping questions in, but in the future, if you're watching this and it's a later stream, feel free to drop questions in because we will comment. And if you have any questions for me or any of the ladies who have been on the show with me today, I would love to answer them, and so would they. And so again, drop them in those comments, and we will keep moving forward. So the last little piece that I wanted to kind of share with all of you is we have some announcements. All of us are doing amazing things in our worlds independently, and I thought this would be a great time for each of you to be able to share what is happening in your world and how people can connect with you. And so we're going to start with Lee. What's going on in your world? How do you want people to connect with you? What announcements do you have for everyone?
Oh, thank you for switching the picture. That's so much better. Okay, so that's after chemo. Anyway, I had a little black book that I kept, which while I was sick and doing chemo, I said, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to improve my social media, I need to write a book, I want to start a Facebook group. I had all these things and I said, that's it. As soon as I'm done, I'm doing it. And I'm proud to say that now I am doing it.
Yay!
So excited. Actually, I have the book right here. I'll flip it around and show it to you guys because it's like all written in. I cross it out as I'm doing it and it feels so good. So I'm running a Facebook group right now that I absolutely love. And I'm doing live trainings every week about all sorts of tips and tricks for graphic design, web design, psychology of color, some really cool stuff. So if anybody wants to join me, I would be glad to have you.
Sweet. And what is the name of the Facebook group?
Web design tips and tricks. And I guess we'll drop the links below and then I'll be happy to look over anybody's website. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact me.
Lovely. Okay, and next up we have Irina. What's happening in your world? Give us our announcements. What's going on, baby?
Well, as I said already earlier, that I am working right now on developing a course for people who may need some help in terms of figuring out which direction to run once they decided that it's finally time to make changes in their lifestyle. So there will be a course before the end of the month. I should have it ready, and there will be special announcements about launching. But as of right now, as I said, every morning I do my little walks and little talks between 8 and 9 a.m. Eastern time, and they're live, and they are on Smart Move 360 on Facebook. So it's Facebook, I don't know, is it group or site or how it's called, but it's a page. So it's a Smart Move 360, one word.
Lovely. Thank you. Okay, and finally we have Andrea. Announcements do you have to share with the community?
I do. I actually have a cleanse that is starting, a new, I call it my detoxification and rejuvenation cleanse, and it's a liver cleanse, and it's a lot of things. It's a mind, body, spirit cleanse, right, Monica? Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
So I, because this is we're live now, I'm gonna hold another like open house. I usually host a getting started webinar a week before the event starts. It's starting on Friday, but Monica's like, yeah, have another one. So I'm like, okay, I'll have another one. So I'm having one tomorrow. That's how we work here in the MinkLife world. Oh, why don't we do that? Okay, let's do it. And then we do it the next day. So Irina, we heard you here. So you now have two specters who are going to help you build a class, because I can tell you how my class came about. The one that I'm teaching, that I'm doing the second iteration of, came about because I was sort of just musing that I wanted to do a class and it should be like this. And before I knew it, 2 weeks later, Monica had me, and I had completed it because I had this Monica specter in my life. And it was done. So we'll talk later because I'll shield you, but she's a good push for both of us. So my class, I'm going to have that webinar tomorrow. I'm trying to post it here in the chat. I tell you, hold on one second. To register to come to it, it's 10 o'clock tomorrow. I'm having the hardest time getting it to put in the Zoom thing, but I'll send it to you, Monica. And if you want to put it out there, I don't know how to share it to Facebook at this moment. Lee, help me.
Okay, no problem.
With this stuff. This is awful. Guilty as charged, guys. I just like to talk about food and cooking and like people being healthy. So I'm doing that tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time, and it'll be in the replay notes for this. And so I would love for any and everyone to join, people who are stuck, who just are feeling frumpy from, they're calling it the quarantine teen. I don't know what they're calling it. Quarantine, or those pounds you're putting on, or just bored and you're feeling bad. This would be a great pick me up, I think, for anyone who's looking for something like that.
Absolutely. And lastly, I wanted to share that I am doing a live intensive. Yes, a live intensive. So you would go through our 6 modules, our six key roles in your life, really kind of realigning your actions to your vision. And that is happening not this weekend, but the following weekend on August 15th and 16th. So it's 2 days. You know, and you're gonna leave it with an action plan on how to step by step do what you need to do. So you heard Andrea talk about like, oh yeah, I just mused that Monica, oh yeah, I want to have a cleanse, and then it happened. That is how it happened. I took her through the MinkLife Motivation action plan generator, and we were able to come up with her program and kind of reset her life a little bit, and kind of got her thinking about all the elements of her life that can support her in her business. And it really worked out. So if you are interested in that, or if you want to do a free preview, let's say you say, I don't know about that whole weekend thing, but I do want to check out what the program has to offer. This weekend coming up, we have a free view of what we call the Red Talks, and that will be coming very soon. So I will see you all hopefully this weekend, and we will also add the links to RSVP for that. I just wanted to say that next week we will be right back here on MinkLife Motivation Facebook page, and we will also be doing this every single week, bringing you new entrepreneurs and hopefully funny tips and fun. I don't know, this was great fun, and I was terrified to do this before we did it, but I'm so glad that I was able to do this, and I was able to do it with you ladies. It couldn't have been a better batch of people to go through this with. And so please, if you like this, please share, please like, please invite. We would love to see you all next week. Thank you so very much to my guest and all the people who support MinkLife Motivation, and we will see you next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.